also filing in for the back end of this doubleheader, Jamaica and Colombia. A match of 2 World Cup 98 squads. Well, what do you see for the United States here in the second half, Alan?
Well, touching on going back to the keys of the game, one of the things I talked about was flow of the game continuity. The first 25 minutes, they get an A for their effort. The second 20, pretty lackluster, allowing Haiti to get back into the match. The finishing touch, they got one really good opportunity. They were able to capitalize. For Haiti, their job was mainly to control the U.S. flanks. I think they were able to do that, taking Ben Olsen really out of the game and Eddie Lewis to a certain point. The early scoring chances we saw, Bruni had a great chance all alone in the 6-yard box. He let that one go wide. And certainly this second half will be a little bit about adjustments, but I would expect the same for both teams.
You know, in saying that, you talk about Lewis and Olsen not being involved as much on the flanks. I'm not sure the U.S. out of the middle played enough out wide to them and early enough away from pressure.
I absolutely agree. They very much are dependent on the service from the middle of the field. And I don't think Reyna and Armis are really able to really get the ball and turn and hit them wide, still on their half of midfield. And that's one of the things they definitely need to improve on is their distribution through the wide players.
Well, Michel Gabriel has put Eddie Lewis a bit back on his heels. The Haitian who plays on the right side of midfield has been dangerous. And it is game on, second half action. Well, it was almost game on. It's now game on, second half action. Olgar Mejias faking everybody out, including the commentators.
A false starter right there.
The U.S. starting out right away here. Battle there from Kobe Jones getting into the penalty area.
Kobe Jones always seems able to slide in there. Somewhat unorthodox at times, but he's deft at getting inside of those offenders.
That's actually Eddie Lewis. You stand corrected.
Eddie Lewis doing a good job sliding in from his wide position on the left side.
Guanave was the man there defending Eddie Lewis, so maybe Eddie Lewis is looking to make more of an impact on the left side. C.J. Brown now.
This is where he's got to be careful.
Simplicity on the ball really the key for C.J. Brown. This is Robin Frazier now. Jeff Agus.
And I think one of the things that CJ got used to playing with Chicago Fire was players like Peter Woback and Lubis Kubik next to him in the back line, guys he can kind of shuffle the ball off to. Not quite sure if he has the same confidence yet with the Robin Frazier and the players kind of playing on that side. Certainly that's the only area I see as a weakness for CJ Brown.
He possesses the qualities of a good defender, good marker, good tackler, very competitive. Armis there to win that one for the U.S. Just so good positionally in midfield. Frazier. This time taking Route 1, the offside flag is up on Ben Olsen making the diagonal run.
Well, not the most accurate ball, but not a bad idea to change it up a little bit. They were trying to build it with the short stuff. Unfortunately, I think he takes a long windup. Look at him here, takes a couple steps. And that was enabled the Haitian backline to step up.
Jay Menard now in goal. Mistake in the back by Haiti. Tough challenge there. U.S. still in possession. Borowski. And that one's going to run out of bounds. Haiti will get the goal kick.
Borowski showing some good patience right there in the attack. Take a look at Eric Winalda.
That man is the all-time leading goal scorer for the United States. Set up Jovan Karofsky for the first one, but at times has looked a little bit detached. Jones. Oh, good run here from Reyna. Left-footed shot by Claudio Reyna. That one goes over the top.
That's what I like to see more from Claudio Reyna. He has the skill. Glasgow Rangers player knifing in very nicely there. Not a bad effort with the left foot either.
Reyna powering forward out of midfield, setting his left foot up.
That was a good last touch before he struck it. Gave himself a chance to hit it on goal.
Vegas now, and he gets fouled. Gabriel, the man who fouls him, number 6. We're in the 50th minute. Chris Armas now. Claudio Reyna, the captain. Bending that one, a little bit too much pace in that one. That runs out of bounds. Looking for Ben Olsen on the right side.
We saw Armas playing Reyna wide right there. Of course, Armas getting some good opportunities to develop as that type of player. Playing with Peter Novak in Chicago, constantly feeding him. Very much like Richie Williams and Marco Echeverri in DC United as well.
Real now. Touchdown. Haiti with a bit of quality here, but the last ball missing there as Brown will knock it off. Number 10, Talusma, who joined in from the left side. But then the throw, and possession won back by Haiti. A little bit careless there from the United States.
This is the right word right there, and you got to step on the ball. Possess it a little bit better than they have been so far in this second half.
Bernard will come off his line for this one. And a bad clear there out of the back. Armas had intercepted it but lost possession. Gabriel. And the Haitian crowd going wild. As Descolinas, a sub here in the second half, has come on. This guy is sort of a national hero right now for his performance. 3 goals in the qualifying tournament that enabled Haiti to get into the final phase here. Has been brought on. Crazy. Towards that far post opportunity there, right-footed shot. Not enough on that one, and the U.S. will get the goal kick. Although Haiti is very excited right now.
They did a very good job right there, switching the angle of attack. Took it from the far side to the near side. Look at some of the Haitian supporters able to get that ball played in there.
Looking for Jones. Claudio Reyna now. Just put on nicely. Jones on the give and go. That one not going to come off. Not enough space there. With Borowski. This is Jovan Borowski. Right now, property of Borussia Dortmund. In the Bundesliga, really is way out of favor there. These national team matches become even more important for him.
And he must have really fallen out of favor because Borussia Dortmund is really struggling right now. Job of holding that attack up right there.
opportunity here. And down goes Claudio Reyna.
A penalty.
Darte Guanarve a little aggressive and clumsy on the challenge. And the penalty has been awarded to the captain, Claudio Reyna.
Reyna sliding inside there. Darte Guanarve giving chase. He does kind of get right in between the legs right there.
So the U.S. with a chance to go up 2-0 here. And I believe it is Eric Winalda to take the penalty. And the U.S. goes up 2-0. And it is the all-time leading scorer, Eric Winalda, converting the penalty.
Well, that's his 9th goal in 19 games played in this Gold Cup. He's scored in every single tournament in his Gold Cup history. Doing it from the penalty spot. Take a look here. Maynard guessing, maybe could have waited to react. It wasn't particularly well placed. Maynard kind of gave it up real quickly. Ronaldo finishing it off. Big goal.
Bernard going the wrong way, and that is a huge goal for the U.S. And it comes early here in the second half. Claudio Reyna powering out of midfield, brought down. Leads to the Eric Winalda conversion on the penalty. Now Haiti's got a big mountain to climb to get back in this one. Gabriel. Corbet back to Gabriel, and again, the final ball missing there, really not that sophisticated in the last third is Haiti right now.
And that's where all the money is. That's where pay dirt is. You got to be precise. Very neat in that final third, and their balls have really lacked any kind of creativity or any accuracy to really put the back line of the U.S. under any real pressure.
Suicide pass.
Well, you heard Bruce Arena yell from the bench to C.J. Brown. Suicide pass to Kobe Jones, and certainly you don't want to be on the end of any of those suicide balls, but that is really the rap on C.J. Brown, is what he does on the ball. We know he's a ball winner. We know he's a good marker. That is the key.
And he's improved in that department. He's played certainly a lot better as far as the distribution of the balls out of the back. The one thing he knows, he'll get his chances to grow and develop. They don't really have that right back as yet. They're still looking for someone to take that spot.
Don't forget, on the bench, 3 quality defenders in their own right. Carlos Llamosa, Greg Vanny, and of course, Eddie Pope. The competition and depth really in the back, I think, is quite good. You're going to have to be on your game to secure a spot for the United States back there.
And I think that all these players will get their chances at every level in the qualifying games leading up to the World Cup. Also a little offsides there. But that was one of the things Bruce Arena said. He felt like his strength is in his central defenders.
Combination play here by the U.S. This is Olsen to Jones. Jones gets turned up. Ronaldo back to Jones. Olsen. One cut out by the Haitian defense.
I'm not so sure that Kobe Jones might not be the better fit out there on that right side than Ben Olsen. Jones getting caught a lot in the middle of the field, the attacking third, and that's not really his strength. He's better running at players. Razov scored in a scrimmage they had. Controlled 70-minute scrimmage between the U.S. and DC United down in Florida in preparation of this match. Take a look at the replay here. Karofsky Listen for the obstruction there. Best I can see, it didn't look like much.
Peace, they're battling. Along with Marceline. Looking a bit shaky now in the back here in the second half.
They've given up a couple balls back there. The U.S. doing a good job. Continue to pressure them. I'm sure they'll give up another one.
Gabriel now down the right side. This is Descalinas. He shows a glimpse of his talents.
Good job by Robin Frazier making him play negative.
Crowd just going nuts here in the Orange Bowl. As Agus sending that one over the halfway line. Buddy Arena now. The key is to slow this match down at times for the United States. Try and take the crowd out of it. And put your foot on it and not get caught up in the game of the Haitians.
You said it right.
Overlapping on the right side. This is Olsen now. To Jones. Karofsky. And a weak ball in. Nobody getting to the near post. As Menard gathers that one in for the Haitians.
The U.S. need to play a little bit more confidently, like they have this 2-goal lead secured. See a little bit more possession. This is the time of the match where you want to possess the ball when you're up.
Eddie Lewis now, driving that one in there as Kobe Jones got into the near post.
And good job by Kobe Jones. I don't think he had a chance of getting it, but he kept the pressure on. I guess he's the one who did get to it first. Good job of still running to try to get to the end of that one. A lot of heart right there, a little effort.
At the halfway line. Jones now to Lewis. Back to Jones. Lewis. Karofsky. Good little move there from Karofsky. Still on the ball. And Jones will try to get it over. He does to the back post. Winalda. And it goes over Eric Winalda's head and out of bounds. Arena being assisted by Dave Sarakin and George Galvanach, former assistant coach, both former assistant coaches at the University of Virginia. Jones again being allowed to turn in midfield. Knifing ball through, looking for Reyna. Good idea. But Menard again collecting the errant ball. Gabriel now. Marceline.
Very intelligent ball from Kobe Jones.
Ward can't get turned. He's got to go back. And there again, the dangerous ball off the U.S. pressure.
Too indecisive with it. Not going to get all day to turn half space in that defensive third.
Well, we talked about if Haiti could do it for 90 minutes consistently. They're starting to show signs of some chinks in the armor here in the second half.
The U.S. starting to wear them down a little bit. This game doesn't have too much flow to it. The U.S. kind of getting suckered in still a little bit. What Haiti wants to do as far as controlling the pace.
Gabriel bending that with the outside of the foot. Agus wins it, goes all the way back to Brad Friedel. Of course, Friedel was in goal down in the Confederations Cup when the U.S. with a Ben Olsen goal knocked off Germany to advance in the tournament course, Joe Max Moore, a great free kick in that one as well. Not in the team here in Miami. Back in England with Everton scoring goals. Olsen trying to get his hips turned to whip that one, and that one deflected away. The U.S. gets a corner.
Joe Max did it again today, scoring for Everton, 4 goals in 5 matches. That's why he's back in England to secure his spot in that first team.
Well, it brings up the problems Bruce Arena has had trying to bring his players back. And at times you've got to be selective, but you've got these guys around when the big events roll in. Eddie Lewis now on the corner. And that one will deflect out. The U.S. will get another chance.
And to continue that point, that struggle, Bruce Arena, he's just like any other national team coach in the world today, as the stakes of club soccer get higher and higher, and FIFA tries to get their arms around club soccer. But you talk about arrangements. They talked to Dick Advocaat, the Rangers coach. Last year, he missed the Confederations Cup, so this year he gets to be at the Gold Cup. So things have to be planned long in advance.
And that one headed out again, but again, there's a risk leaving to play because Reyna did not get a start in a couple of matches prior to this tournament, just so that Dick Advocaat and his Rangers side could get some other people used to playing positionally in the place of Claudio Reyna.
And Reyna knows that all too well, because in '97, same thing happened to him at Leverkusen. Came back for some U.S. Cup matches, paid the price, losing his spot.
Side flag up on Ben Olsen.
And the one thing we're certainly going to see from Bruce Arena is he's going to keep on tinkering with this lineup. I don't think he has all 11 pieces in place yet. You look at it here. He looked like maybe just a tad off sides.
Asian defender a bit hesitant in getting out. Gabriel now. Well, this certainly is a tournament of experimentation for Bruce Arena. There is no doubt about that. He's made that public.
Well, Bruce also knows how to work the media. He knows from a coaching standpoint you need wins to build confidence. He knows that the results are indeed more important than he's letting on, especially you need to get some kind of rhythm. Because after this tournament and the U.S. Cup are kind of little breaks, so the guys will be away with their clubs.
The loose one now on the corner. Rolling ball in, that a dangerous one. The U.S. heads out, right-footed shot. That one over the top. And that comes from number 15 for Haiti, Atis.
Atis had the crowd ready to roar, even though that ball was blasted high into the Miami night.
Well, you saw some Reggae Boys fans there, and hey, it's not baseball, you got to give it back.
That would be some sort of souvenir to take home, though.
Yeah, blast from Atis, that missed by about 40 yards. But for a Haitian fan, certainly that ball is like a gold nugget.
Well, maybe later on in the week it'll be it skimmed off the crossbar from close range.
Well, right now, Haiti giving the U.S. a lot of room in midfield. Ronaldo checking back to it. Armas now. Battling with Gabriel, shakes the tackle off nicely. Agus. Kirovsky now.
But look at the runs. No real runs right there. Too close together are the forwards.
But now the U.S. sucks in Haiti and finds out wide Eddie Lewis. Ball curled in. Bernard gathers it in and distributes on the left side. And some poor distribution it is, but I believe C.J. Brown, as though he might have handled that one, and you thought you heard a whistle, but play continues on. Robin Fraser will turn that one away.
Well, the Haitian forwards haven't really bothered Fraser or CJ when they're running, trying to latch on the balls in the offensive third. They don't quite seem to have the pace of the back line of the U.S. To their credit, they're still fighting. They're still trying to see if they can get on the scoreline.
So defensive midfielder Richie Williams will come in. Eric Winalda comes off.
Substitution.
think that's a good substitution to get a little bit more of a holding midfielder so you can get a little bit more possession to close out this game.
Defending player on for an attacking player. Williams' first touch is deflected all the way back to Robin Fraser. DC United fame. Richie Williams certainly has made a name for himself in Major League Soccer and continues to be on the fringe of starting here for the United States national team.
Well, he's one of the players who's been a benefactor of the coaching change from Steve Sampson to Bruce Arena. Bruce Arena coached him in college, knows what Richie Williams can do. Probably better than Richie Williams does.
All the way back to Didier Mignard in goal for Haiti. Probably see now Karofsky in a little bit more advanced role with Kobe Jones. Weaving his way across the field to Agus, making it look easy.
He's got a sweet touch on him. Seeing how casually he was running away from the Haitian challenge.
Well, the sign of a good player is a guy who makes people look good with the delivery of his passes and the ease of which he does it, and certainly that can describe Claudio Reyna. Brown. Robin Fraser. 70th minute. The U.S. in control now. Williams. Ben Olsen. Kobe Jones now getting in the hole. He's caused some problems there all night. The final ball not there on this one.
You see what I was alluding to earlier. Kobe Jones a little bit more dangerous when he's able to turn and run at goal. Not necessarily the best playing with his back toward the goal. That time he caused the Haitian defense to react to him, almost able to play it in behind.
Well, a good night for Eric Winalda. He set up Jovan Karofsky for goal number 1. And after Claudio Reyna brought down, stuck away the penalty for goal number 2 as the U.S. has the 2-0 lead.
Winalda at times looked a little bit lethargic in the attack, but certainly when it came time to deliver, he was up to the task. I'd like to see a little bit more possession at times from the forwards from the U.S., but you really can't complain when you set up one and you score the other.
Brown. Of course, both these teams will get a shot at Peru. In group reaction, this is Gabriel now, number 6 on the right side. And I believe the offside flag is up. Quickly put back into play by Robin Fraser.
Robin Fraser is so smart, keeping everyone organized. You take a look at it here. CJ smart enough to realize too, Robin was going to run with the Haitian forward, making that run. Good job of having a good soccer IQ, knowing when to step up.
Williams. Brown. Back to Richie Williams. He gets turned now. Right side to his DC United teammate Olsen. Olsen. And unlucky for the U.S. as Kobe Jones had gotten in behind the Haitian defense but just couldn't save that pass from Ben Olsen.
Him and Karofsky were making the same run. Karofsky decided to let Jones get to it. He had a little bit further to go. Running away from the goal would have been better if Karofsky would have stayed on the beat of that one.
finally trying to break out. Well, the U.S. with their possession sucking the passion right out of the Haitian game right now.
But they've imposed their will onto this match. 2 goals isn't an insurmountable lead. They've certainly added to it, feeling that Haiti would have a tough time in that final third.
Richie Williams. Borowski looking for Richie Williams. He's muscled off that one as Didier Menard, the goalkeeper for Haiti, gathers that one in.
Menard has been pretty active the last few moments here.
Lusma.
Certainly, as far as the tournament goes, the 3 points, very crucial. The U.S. close to securing those. They know they want to move on. Anything less would be a complete disaster.
No ball by Lusma. Looking for Descalinas.
Descalinas, one of the more dangerous players, has been marked out of the match since he's come on as a substitute to start the second half.
Michel Gabriel on the corner. And the Haitian fans having a party here in Miami regardless of the scoreline. Lusma's ball cut out. This is Claudio Reyna now breaking out with time and space. Jones.
Play inside.
Jones hitting the space in behind the defense here. Eddie Lewis, I believe, is going to track this one down. Can the U.S. get support? Agus. And Agus stumbling over that one. Haiti will break out. Lewis again. Kobe Jones. And the offside flag is up. A lot of indecisiveness out here tonight. In flags going up, and obviously the noise of the crowd here affecting the players. As it is loud in the Orange Bowl. To Lusma now. Frazier calmly knocking that one back to Brad Friedel. I don't know if Robin Frazier has really even broken a sweat in this one.
He's very much just coasting back there. That comes from preparation and maturity. He said the word calmly. He's very composed, and that's what they need back there.
Well, the U.S. has some players that are great positional players up the middle of the field. And Frazier and Chris Armas. But here is Haiti now. Oh, some good covering play there by the U.S.
Great system defending. That's the outside back and the outside midfielder working together to snuff that attack.
Right-footed blast from long range. Boy, and I'll tell you what, that one testing Brad Friedel.
Friedel showing the presence of mind right there. His momentum was going to carry him back into the goal. Of course, the ball crossed the goal line with his hands on it. That would have been a goal. But what a strike this was. You talk about having a go. He's inside the center circle. What a goal that would have been. You see Friedel all the way back into his goal. The long blast. I believe that was Bruni, number 13.
You got to really credit him with the vision and awareness and the idea there, because that ball struck
beautifully.
With some great power and put on the frame, and that's probably the most difficult thing from that range. Here's Olsen.
What a tough go of things, trying to get to that end line tonight.
Shot here has lifted up the Haitian spirit now.
But the U.S. had pretty good numbers. You saw on your screen it was essentially a 5v2 in favor of the U.S. Doing a good job again, giving cover as we approach the final 10 minutes or so of this match.
Atis was the man who got forward for Haiti on that one. U.S. again looking to gather goal number 3 here.
the play.
79th minute now, Jeff Agus on the left side. The U.S. in control as Haiti getting set to make a substitution. Emmanuel Sanan going to his bench. And there's no doubt this has got to be an attacking option. Bobby Jones has gotten a lot of balls in the hole tonight. Ben Olsen. Good ball served in there, headed out by Haiti. U.S. committed forward. Haiti's got some room in midfield here. Quality ball on the right side to Vorb. Right-footed shot. Brad Friedel had that one covered at the near post.
What a ball that was played into Vorb.
Well, we take a look back. Probably at the wrong time there, as we almost miss a scoring opportunity here at the far end. Olsen. Poor ball there. Not quite sure who that came from.
That was Armis. That's not really his game, spraying the ball like that.
There, in fact, you see what Armis is all about. He wins it back.
And that's the most important thing, but Armis is better. His percentage of passes completed is a lot greater when he stays into that 10 to 15, maybe even up to 20. Certainly that was a little bit more of a complicated ball. He just didn't execute it right.
Well, that was assistant coach Jean Baptiste. And the free kick will go against Armis, incredibly. And Haiti will restart it. Vorb looking for that one. That one runs out of bounds. The United States will get the goal kick as they just try to bring to safety this 2-0 lead here in the Orange Bowl.
And this is what it's about. It's about protecting your leads, playing good ball. I'd like to see a little bit more ball possession, a bit more ball maintenance to squeeze the remainder of this game.
U.S. now getting into the last third of Haiti. Lewis will go back with support from behind there from Jeff Agus. Armis to Williams. Williams back to Agus, his DC United teammate. Eddie Lewis now. Bending this one into the box. The header there. From Karofsky went out of bounds, and Ben Olsen trying to save that one. It was actually Claudio Reyna, the captain, getting in the box on the Eddie Lewis cross. And Frazier came across laterally there to win that one. Haiti now. Alusma. We're getting pressed. The two battling it out here. Bobby Jones now coming in support. And Reyna will get called for the foul.
The two number 10s doing battle on that near side.
All these players for Haiti playing for clubs back in Haiti. Pierre coming on. Racing Club Haiti, Violet, Fika, Carioca, Don Bosco. These are some of the club teams in Haiti that these players ply their trade for. Alusma now, the left back. Deflected away there. Descolinas getting subbed, I guess, because he went down injured. Not a good sign for Haiti in this tournament. He had 3 goals in the mini qualifying tournament that also included Canada, Cuba, and El Salvador. With the Canadians and Haiti coming in 1 and 2, they get into the final phase here of the Gold Cup. Of course, Canada will be in action tomorrow. Reyna now. Ben Olsen. Armas loses possession. Offside flag is up. As Descalina is still in agony, it looks like a hamstring. Ice on the back of his leg.
Certainly those are one of the more painful muscle pulls you can have. The U.S. here on the verge, making 11 straight games won in the first round of this tournament. Matter of fact, they're the only team to win all of its first round games since the inception of the Gold Cup. An impressive streak. Going to continue on tonight for the U.S. Outscored their opponents 24-7 now in these first round games, so certainly the U.S. well prepared and usually feasting on some weaker opposition and getting the results that they should get.
Delusma. And Jones does a nice job of coming back into midfield to win that one. Olsen now. Huge time and space here. Lewis. And it took too long for that cross to get in. Brown, a good challenge to Reyna. Agus. '87th minute.
The U.S. in this Gold Cup have played 19 matches now. They've scored a little over 1.6 goals per game in all their games. They give up less than a goal a game.
Frazier is stripped. Can Haiti get a chance? They do. Friedel responds with a huge save for the U.S. So really the first good quality chance for Haiti. And Brad Friedel coming up big there with a great positional play.
Outstanding job. Take a look at the replay. In as a substitute, Pierre just fending off, absorbing that challenge of Armas. And again, Friedel, Johnny on the spot, right place at the near post, parries it away from danger. Textbook job by Friedel. One, keeping the ball out of the net, and two, not giving up an easy rebound.
Well, the sub Pierre is the man who comes on and gets really the best scoring opportunity of the night for the Haitians. Gabriel, can he get behind Agus? Agus just with a well-timed tackle. And if you ever thought tackling is an art, you didn't think it was an art, that's a prime example of it.
That was a beautiful tackle, kept it into play. Couldn't do it any better than that. Good job by Agus. Take a look at it again. Gabriel, and look at that, perfectly done. Keeps the ball in play. He gets up really quickly. Gabriel spills over the end line, keeping possession for the U.S.
And Gabriel remains down after that tackle with Jeff Agus. Chance here for Kobe Jones. Menard off his line. Jones a shot. And the U.S. gets goal number 3 here in the 89th minute. Kobe Jones.
What a ball. And Kobe Jones, the composure to finish it. I told you he's better running at goal. Look at him here, slipping into defense. Good touch right there. And then this is a tougher angle than it looks like. He's heading away. Watch Bruni, not able to catch up with them, and well finished by Kobe Jones. That last touch, beating Maynard. That man, well done, goal number 3.
Here is Jones again. Throwing a great ball to the back post, but nobody there. The Haitians have to head out. And one of the raps on Kobe Jones has been, hey, you know, he doesn't finish plays. All this activity. But I'll tell you what, now in Chile, he got the game winner. He gets the 3rd one here tonight.
And really, the last couple years, Kobe Jones has really stepped up his play. He hit a little valley before that, but has since come on very, very strong the last couple seasons, both for club and country.
Bernard gathers that one in. Off the corner from Claudio Reyna.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has added 2 minutes to count the second half of play.
Well, the U.S. minutes, maybe seconds away from an opening win here in Gold Cup. This is game number 1 of a 19-game schedule. This is Group B play. The U.S. has the 3-0 lead over Haiti.
This right here ties for second. And the margin of victory, they ties twice, or 3 times before, I should say. Won by 3-0 score lines, beating Guatemala in 91. And also again in 96, and then beating Cuba in 98 in the first round. The biggest score line ever, margin of victory, 4-0 victory. That ties their victory. They lost 4-0 to Mexico in the 93 final of this tournament.
Jones again, trying to get his 2nd.
I don't think he's going to get that call since we're in injury time.
Well, that expression says it all from Kobe Jones. U.S. has done a nice job, though, of absorbing the rough play at times of Haiti, trying to break their rhythm.
You're absolutely right. You took a look right there. Kobe Jones sliding inside. But the U.S.
want to get out of really no injuries. Get back and regroup yourself for game number 2.
The great thing that U.S. has done is that they've gotten the result. They got through it together. At times it was sloppy, but the end is the only thing that matters. Good job by the U.S.
Well, certainly Bruce Arena is happy. Conditions difficult. The U.S. coming out on top, 3-0. They look good in this one. Karofsky, Jones, and Reyna. The goals in the 3-0 victory over Haiti. This is game